Now, the point is that you two have known each other for quite some time. How long?
About 4 years.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And as you're part of these organisations, you meet up from time to time. And what you do, a bit like when you're in the magic circle, is that you share skills and you share tricks and you share perhaps performance ideas. Is that right, Rob?
Definitely, Judge.
And there came a time, as I understand it, where you were in discussion with Andy and he was talking to you about a new trick or a new part of his performance, right?
Yes.
What was it, sir?
He sent me a video of him performing at a theatre in Lowestoft, and it was his opening act, and I thought it was sublime.
Just pause for a second. Now, bearing in mind there are people who've been lucky enough to find themselves in the Sistine Chapel, standing there looking up at the work of the great Renaissance artists and gone, goodness me, it's sublime. Bearing in mind there are people that have sat listening to Beethoven's symphonies and thought, goodness me, how profound, how sublime. Or have stood at the top of the most exquisite vistas around the world, perhaps, I don't know, the wildebeest of Africa, and said, how profound, how sublime.
Yes.
You use the word sublime to describe what, sir?
He was playing musical bells on an ironing board, and it was hilarious and different and unique, and I thought it was really, really good.
No, you didn't. You thought it was sublime.
I did. You're quite right, Judge, I did.
It's been a challenging day for me, Andy. Let me have a look at your sublime performance. Now, the children seem to enjoying it a good deal, and it's very good. Now, there you are, you're with the ironing board, you cover the ironing board, etc. Now, there are bells. Don't suppose you do have an agilla on them, do you?
No.
Excellent.
Bravo. Good, isn't it?
Sir, it's bells and an ironing board.
It's comedy gold.
It's what?
Comedy gold.
The ironing board, yes, Judge.
The ironing board is comedy gold. Just sort of wait a minute. Peter, where are you from originally?
Czech Republic.
I just want to say things are not lost in translation. And bearing in mind, he believes that he has what you call global intellectual property right over this. Looking at that, do you find this sublimely hilarious?
Not really.
Now, Andy, what I have to ask you, and it actually, believe it or not, matters. I have seen people play the bells like that. Do you believe, and listen to the wording I'm using, it may be sublime to you, do you believe the use of those bells are original?
No, Judge.
Thank you, sir, they're not.
Could I say that with the bells, I did offer to teach Rob how to use the bells and how to play the tunes.
How to play the bells?
How to play the bells. I did offer to teach Rob.
Eventually.
Well, what did he have to do? Kidnap you? In fact, there's a text exchange about the bells. Let's have a look. Permission to borrow your bell ringing gag, obviously with my own bells. Well, of course, you wouldn't want to interfere with another man's bells. No, harsh. Permission not granted, you say. I knew I shouldn't have sent it to you. That's like just stealing a magic routine. Tut, tut, shame on you. And you say, I wouldn't use it without your permission, correct?
Judge.
Now, here's the thing. The bells, sir. And I don't mean in a Quasimodo sense. The bells. Focus on this. I asked you whether the bells were original. Your answer to that was what?
No, the bells are not original, no.
So why shouldn't anybody, a clown, for example, if I were to be especially imaginative and decide my future lay in clowning, and I woke up one morning and said, I'm going to be a clown, I shall call myself Robert.
The whole bell ringing gag does involve, for me, the use of the ironing board and the bells. So
What's
it's not
unique,
just the bells.
sir, or original about using an ironing board that doesn't stay up? I, for example, have seen or have been, in fact, at comedy events where there's always somebody, you know, that tries to put the music stand up and it doesn't stand up and people get bored after the first 3 minutes, but they clap and carry on nevertheless. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He does that later in the show.
Talking, in other words, it's not funny. Do you understand what I mean?
But with the ironing board, to the best of my knowledge, I am the only clown who walks around when performing with an ironing board. I take the ironing board with me when I'm at festivals and fetes and fairs and birthdays.
If you enjoyed that video, then I strongly suggest clicking here for more highlights. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet, and why not, so that you never miss out, subscribe. Clicking down there, that's an order.